Alright, I have a word for you, and this word is going to break chains. This word is going to break strongholds that were in your life. The word that I have for you, it is not good for you to be alone. It is never God's intention for someone to stay alone, for someone to isolate himself, to isolate themselves away from people. When you look way back in Genesis, when the Lord had created man, he said, it is not good for man to be alone. So he created for him as someone who would be comparable to him. He created for him a companion. It is not good for one to be alone. I know you may have a personality trait. You may have something that you may be someone who's an introvert. But just because you are an introvert does not mean that you should keep yourself away from people. Because we are born to be social beings. We were meant to be people who were supposed to relate. We were meant to relate, to have a relationship with people. Because there are things that you are never going to attain in life if you are alone, if you keep yourself in prison. There are people who have kept themselves in prison for a very long time. You have been set free, but because of your mindset, because of the way you think, because of the way you act, you have kept yourself in prison, and yet the door has been opened for you. The cell has been broken, but you have kept yourself in prison. And the Lord is saying it is not good for you to be alone, because in times where you are alone, there are a lot of things that you will develop. You could develop addictions. The wise man once said that an idle man is a devil's workshop. When you are alone, you could be idle. When you are alone, you give room for the enemy to attack you because you do not have someone to watch over you. In times where you are alone, you do not have someone to look up to you. You are never accountable. Statistics show that many people who are in forms of addictions like pornography, addictions, they like to keep themselves in separate areas. They like to lock their rooms. They like to be alone. When you are alone, you give the enemy room to attack you. The word says, for the enemy is like a roaring lion looking for whom to devour. If he finds you alone, he will devour you. Do not allow the enemy to devour you. It is not good for you to be alone. I like watching channels which talk about animals in the wild. Now, listen very careful. When you look at the lion is referred to as the king of the jungle. But when the lion is getting ready to attack its prey, when the lion looks at its prey, it will study the prey. It will carefully study the prey, and it will look for the weak one, and it will roar. And when it roars, it scares away all the prey. And when it scares away the prey, it targets the one that is weak, the one that is alone. It isolates one that is weak, and it will attack that one. Do not allow the enemy to isolate you. Do not allow the enemy to attack you, because in places of isolation, that's where he will bring suicidal thoughts in your mind. That's where he will bring depression. You need to interact with people. You need to be with people so that you may grow, because you may never attain wisdom if you are alone. There are things about this world, there are things that you may never reach to if you are alone. You know, two people are better than one person, because when one person falls down, the other can lift you up. When you are two, when you are united, you can do something. You can achieve something that is greater. But if you are alone, there are things that you are never going to achieve. It is not good for you to be alone. If I've never spoken a word, let this be a word that is going to change you, that is going to transform you, that is going to make you come to your mind. Because we are a body of Christ. And look at the body. The body comprises of many different parts. It comprises of the eyes, the ears, the mouth to speak, and the hands. They all have different functions. The eye is for sight. The mouth is for speaking, for eating, and the hands have different functions. You as a person, you may have a different function. You have a different gift. But if you isolate yourself from the other people, from the other body of Christ, you are not going to live up to your potential. You are not going to attain certain things. There are things, there's a gift in you, young lady. There's a gift in you, young man, that you need to put it out there, that will help other people. But if you are alone, you will never help others. You need to be with people. You need to interact with people. We are meant to be social beings. It is not good for you to be alone. It is time to come to your mind. It is time to go out and meet the people. It is time to heal the sick, because you may hold help for someone who's crying. You may hold a key for someone whose door has been locked. There are people who are living in bondage, and you could be the only person to rescue them.